All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We're not just explaining a science experiment, we're going to break down the art of a great explanation itself. We're going to peek behind the curtain of a script for a viral kids video to really understand what makes it so good at communicating big ideas in a simple way. Let's dive in.
So it all kicks off with something like this. It's simple, it's kind of hypnotic, and honestly, it's just fun. This one line, right from our source material, immediately sets the tone. This isn't going to be a boring lecture. This is an invitation to come play. That's the hook, right? That's what gets you interested.
The subject here is that classic homemade lava lamp. But we're not just here to build one. Nope, we're here to figure out why this specific explanation works so darn well. How does a simple script, meant for kids, end up being a masterclass in breaking down science? That is what we're here to find out.
Okay, so to really get why this works, you've got to know the context. First off, who is this for? Kids. We're talking 6 to 12 years old. And get this, the script itself is super confident, calling this thing a viral hit that's trending big in 2025. So you know right away, this isn't just a boring old lesson plan. It's designed to be shared, to be popular.
All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the experiment. And you know, part of what makes this so genius is that you don't need some fancy lab. The science is like literally hiding in your kitchen cabinet. You've probably got this stuff right now.
Okay, I love this. The script calls the ingredients the bubbly crew. How great is that? It's a brilliant move right from the start. So you've got your stage, a clear bottle. Then you've got your main characters, the liquids, oil and water. You add a little flair with a splash of color, and then, for the big finale, the fizz power. That's your Alka-Seltzer tablet.
And right away, this gets us to our first big science idea, density. And the way the script explains it, it's just perfect. It's simple, right? Oil's lighter, so it floats up top. Water's heavier, it sinks to the bottom. They're like, as the script says, besties who don't mix. And that simple separation, that's the whole foundation for what's about to happen. And here's another reason why this works so well. Instead of just hitting you with the word density, which can sound kind of clinical, it calls it density magic. That one little word change, magic, completely transforms a science term into something exciting, something mysterious. It makes you lean in and want to know more.
So, let's see how all these pieces come together to tell a story, because this is really where the whole explanation just comes alive. See, it doesn't just throw facts at you. It actually tells a story, framing this whole thing as the epic journey of a single drop of colored water. The source even calls it a lava tale.
So our story starts right here. The food coloring, which, by the way, the script says loves water, it just sinks right through that oil and mixes in with the water at the bottom. And just like that, the stage is set. We have our hero, this little blob of colored water, just waiting for its big adventure to kick off. And then, the action starts. That Alka-Seltzer tablet hits the water and starts fizzing, creating all these carbon dioxide gas bubbles. And this is where the personification comes in. The script says these bubbles literally grab onto the colored water and give it a lift. The word they use is just perfect. Our little droplet is hitchhiking its way to the top.
You know, every good story needs a climax, right? Well, for our little droplet, this is it. It reaches the surface, and this is where the script explains that the gas bubble, its little elevator ride, just pops. The gas escapes into the air, the ride's over, and this moment is absolutely crucial for the whole cycle to work. So now that it's lost its bubbly, gassy friend, that water droplet is heavy again. And since it's denser than the oil, well, you guessed it, it sinks all the way back down. I love how the script puts it. It says the droplet is going back for round 2. It just perfectly captures that continuous looping vibe of a real lava lamp.
Okay, so we followed the story, which was awesome. But now let's actually decode the science that's woven into that story. Because all that magic we talked about, it really just comes down to 2 super simple and honestly very cool scientific principles working together.
All right, first up, density. This is the whole reason the oil and water stay separated. And the script has this amazing analogy for it. It explains that oil floats on water because it's lighter, like a beach ball on a pool. Boom! That one image, it just makes the whole concept click, doesn't it? And principle number 2 is a chemical reaction. When that tablet hits the water, it starts to dissolve, and it creates something totally new, carbon dioxide gas. This gas is basically the engine for our entire lava lamp. It's that fizz power that makes the bubbles and drives the whole journey we just watched.
So if you break it all down, you can see that every single one of these simple ingredients has a really specific scientific job to do. The oil is the medium our little blobs travel through, the water is both the heavy base and the place where the reaction happens. The food coloring? That's just our visual tracer. And the Alka-Seltzer? That's the gas generator. Everything has a purpose. Nothing is wasted.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture here. What makes this explainer so incredibly effective? It's because it gets something fundamental. The best way to teach isn't just to list a bunch of facts. It's to wrap those facts up in a story that people actually want to follow. It really is a masterclass in how to tell a scientific story.
So what are the secrets to its success? Well, they're hiding in plain sight. First, the language is super simple and relatable. You know, oil and water are besties who don't mix. Then there's the personification. We've got hitchhiking bubbles. The whole thing is framed as a story, a lava tale. And maybe most importantly, it's always encouraging you to be curious and play around.
So really, the most crucial point is this. The script takes these abstract ideas, density and chemical reactions can sound pretty intimidating, and it gives them characters, it gives them a setting, and it gives them a plot. And by turning the science into a simple story, the whole concept just becomes intuitive. It's something you're not going to forget.
And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This whole approach, this storytelling method, it's not just for kids, and it's definitely not just for lava lamps. It's an incredibly powerful tool for explaining almost anything complex. So I'll leave you with this question. What's a complex idea in your world that could suddenly become simple if you just found the right story to tell?